right, hello. We are live and functional, I hope. And right now I'm futzing about with some shadows. I'm trying a new technique. So a friend of mine who I used to stream with would do this, where when he wanted to mess with shadows and he wasn't quite sure how it would go, he would go in and shade the parts that he wanted to have. Maybe need to switch to a slightly larger one there. Thought I had you set it larger. Oh well. I said he'd go in and shade the parts that he wanted to have more in shadow. And then what he would do is drop the opacity, I think, further down to create that nice harsh line, and he would build it up that way. So today we are experimenting with that concept because I've never done it that way, but I want to see how it works. So overall, I think it looks pretty decent. I'm not sure I like it. I feel like it's too gray though. Maybe I come over here and make it a little more blue. What do we think of that? Oh, I like that actually. That looks a lot better. I was afraid for a minute it was going to be like that Edward Scissorhands scene where like just a touch of lavender and then it just ends up being, looks like a purple people eater and it doesn't work. Again. Oh my god. Hold on, I apparently have to edit my post about this. That looks like a better URL. All right, hopefully that works. Thank you to my wonderful friend Joe, who just informed me that it was apparently still private in the URL that I sent. Honestly, I ought to get a nice, lovely assistant to help me and post all of my things. That's funnier than it should be. chat's where it needs to be. Krita's where it needs to be. Everything should be where it needs to be. So yeah. Get that angle. Straight line. Try to draw a straight line. And usually fail to draw a straight line because straight lines are hard. I do like this lavender though. It makes me kind of happy. I dig it. Makes me kind of happy. I consider one of my great artistic influences to be the late, great Theodore Giesel, who also did not draw straight lines very well. I am grateful to him for his guidance. I've actually been on a bit of a Suzanne kick lately. I decided in January that that was the perfect time to watch that new NBC Grinch musical. So first off, all the rumors are true. The Grinch is incredibly trying to think of an appropriate word to say that's not going to cause issues. He is very sensual, put it that way. And then having Max the dog being played as a human as well makes it even more sensual. And in fact, you end up with a couple awkward moments. But I mean, you know, let's be real, the Grinch was queer-coded in the first place. You don't manage to be that sassy without being queer-coded. Well, it says I have 2 people in chat, so hello, 2 people. As I said earlier, although apparently my link was bad, as I said earlier, I'm experimenting with a new shading technique that a friend of mine actually told me about, where basically you just mess with the opacity, so you kind of draw in your shadow block and then you decrease the opacity, and that'll kind of help you get your shadows where you need them to be, while also not losing color detail, which I love because that's always one of my kind of pet peeves. I want it to be very, very good in the color detail department. And I also do need to eventually go in and put the numbers on the horrifying chatter phone. I feel like I always talk about the horrifying chatter phone, but the chatter phone is horrifying. It's a real toy from the 1960s. One of my friends was discussing the types of toys I should put in the scene, and they mentioned a telephone, and I looked up toy phone and immediately fell out of love with it. But I also kind of do love it because it's like that's actually what it kind of looks like. It's traumatic, and I adore the fact that it is quite traumatic. I like traumatic things to a limited extent. So this will probably be a relatively short stream for me. I'm just kind of hanging out while the flatmate is off to the post office to pick up some change of address forms for reasons. We have run into issues with mail that we don't want coming to this location. Perils of, you know. Hey, Sam. Slightly bigger there. There we go. I have to remember this color for this. It's kind of brilliant. Good. Oh, no, that. Go away, random dot of eraser. I'm going to continue my clown. Oh, yeah. I will do the whole thing. In my head, this is sort of like made out of plastic, but then I also kind of feel like I want it to be made out of yarn, and I don't know. Most of the actual bopper things don't have hair sticking out. Or no, not boppers. What are they called? Weebles. Because weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. So most of the actual weebles don't have hair sticking out or anything, which makes sense. You could, poke your eye out, I guess. However, my weeble has hair because I am the artist and I have determined that that is the case. And you can't stop me. Wahaha. Oh my god. Oh, yeah. Do I have tea left? Only a smidge. Tea is good. Tea is one of my favorite things. So, minor tea break. Pardon me as I slurp. There we go. Slightly cold tea. Whew. And I feel like I need to put a little bit more shadowing actually here because I want it to look a little bit more 3D. But only, you know, slightly. This is a lot earlier than I usually manage to do these. I'm usually not here and ready to do anything until, God, 6 o'clock maybe. And at that point, I missed my East Coast folks. You guys are already in bed with visions of creepy clowns dancing in your head. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, just making it a little bit more three-dimensional. Oh, that blue over that yellow kind of makes it look greenish, but whatever. What are we going to do? And I think I kind of want here, because the way I'm envisioning it, the clown is actually casting a little bit of a shadow on the chatterphone. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. I think that's a lot better than what I had before. So just to give a visual, it was very flat. And now I've got a little bit more shadow, and I'm considering having also sort of like this beam of light, which you can sort of see there coming in sort of across the, like it's coming from the curtain. But I'm not completely sold on that, so please feel free to weigh in. Let me know what you think. But, right, anyways, I need to continue working, and I think I'm going to hit on the horse next. I'm actually very proud of this saddle. I did a lot of research on this saddle because I haven't ridden horses in a good while, and I wanted it to look pretty decent. And I know it's a toy saddle, but still. Something good. Actually, hang on. No. Now. Okay, so I'm trying to do something that I've managed to do completely accidentally in the past. Oh, hello, D. Oh my, I get D in my stream? So there's supposed to be a way for me to lock layers, and I don't know how that works because I am not that tech savvy, so I'm just gonna go about doing it the old-fashioned way. And just go for. I'm sure there's like some really talented, amazing Krita artists who are all, oh, I can just push this button in this combo and you get this super amazing time-saving thing. But I feel like I would waste more time trying to do that. I'm really liking this blue. I need to remember this color for shading. I had not expected this to work out as well as it apparently is. Do I like that? Kind of. Kind of. I'm not sold on it. Oh! And Danny is here. I suspect that there is quite a bit of delay, by the way, from when I say something and when you get it. I think in the past it's been almost a minute and a half. So if I'm saying something several minutes after you typed it, my apologies. That's just how the streaming software seems to work. But I'm very pleased with this purplish tone. It works very well. It makes me very happy. I'll be honest, I was a little nervous to actually stream today because I was like, I have to do the shading now and I don't know how it's going to turn out and I don't want to stream and then be like, oh, it looks really bad. You know, confidence is key. No. That's pretty good. Maybe angle you a little. Yeah, there we go. Angles are your friends. So I've kind of got like two different light sources going on in my head. I've got the window, and then I have, I guess, ambient light. Because I want, my initial concept was to have like the whole thing kind of lit by the window, and then I was like, that's not going to work because then I'll lose half the detail. Thank you, Dee. I appreciate you. Yes, I'm sort of imagining, if we can zoom out here, sort of imagining that we've got light from the window, kind of like coming this way, if you can sort of see that. But then I'm also envisioning sort of light kind of coming from somewhere over here, if you can see that. I know it's very faint. Stupid ads. It's not actually my preference in music, but it's copyright free music. It's fine, I just need something. But going to come in here, shade you a little bit more. I'd almost just rather not have you. Oh, yeah. I'm so proud of the saddle. Like before coming here, I did a lot of looking up saddles. It's partly actually inspired by one that my father used to have, because my grandfather actually had a farm, like for real, it's a farm. And so my dad for years had a old Western saddle in the attic. There's actually a photo of me and my best friend in preschool sitting on it and riding it. I think we had on like fake tutus too. It was a fabulous, one of those preschool pictures. So I'm sure my mom still has a copy of that somewhere. She is super excited that I'm going to be, and I quote, only 7 hours away, which is good for her. Because I haven't seen her since, put it this way, we were supposed to go on vacation together in April of 2020. So, needless to say, I did not see my mother in April of 2020. Thank you, Dee. Instead, I have not seen my mother in a year, almost 2 years now. And we typically were pretty much together at least once a year since I moved out here. I'm kind of sad I won't be able to take her to Grand Central Market again because we love that place, but I'm sure there's something similar in ye old New York. Now, do I like that? Do I want to do that? I maybe want to do that? I'm not sure yet. No, that doesn't line up. I wanted to, it doesn't. Maybe... Oh. Probably closer to that. Just scribble it in and then figure out if it works later. If I do that, I have to do the whole thing, which is fine. Flail wildly and hope for the best. Well, as the person who has probably been doing the commission artist thing the longest, my dear friend Grimm, I will follow your advice to the letter. Yay. Art is happening. Also, if I am, what did I say, 7 hours from my mother, that means I'm also coincidentally 7 hours from somebody else I could name, which I think will be spectacular. Yes, that's right. I will be 7 hours away from Diesel. To those who are confused, Diesel is a fantastic and fabulous beagle who maybe lives with somebody who's in chat. Sam, did you not know that? Oh, good. It is an exciting yet slightly terrifying time in the gentleman psychic household. So Katie. So Danny is the Badger Grim there, who is a wonderful friend of mine back home. And he has a very handsome beagle, who is apparently snoring at the moment. And Sam, on the topic, is a marvelous chalk artist. You can find her at, correct me if I'm wrong, it's RVA Chalk Art, or is it just RVA Chalk? And actually, this is pretty tame. At one point I had a sword swallower and a strong man in my chat. That was fun. Okay, so yes, RVA Chalk. And yes, Sam, your best is spectacular. Alright. It was. Who did we have? Crystal Curio, who is a sword swallower, glasswalker. She walks on stepladders made of machetes. She sticks things up her nose. Fabulous performer. And then a gentleman named Hot Todd Lincoln out of DC. And he is also a very impressive strong man. He does all sorts of fun things. Bending horseshoes and ripping decks of playing cards. He can bend a horseshoe into a heart, which is very cute. Okay, let's save. Anybody who is arting along, now is the time to save your work. There you go. All right. Now, do I still like that or no? Not sure. I'm just gonna stall on it. You know what I need to do? I need to go put in the numbers on the phone because I have been stalling on that too. Oh, but perhaps I will do that later.
I need more light here,
though. Yes, it will be. It's actually probably going to go up on my Society 6, which I think you can see on my Instagram. I'll link it later. So yes, it will be available on t-shirts and prints and so on and so forth. That being said, having saved, I will do the rotary phone things later. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate you all tremendously. And I'll talk to you guys soon.